Hello, Facebook Live. It's a pleasure to be here with you on First Contact Friday. Once more, I am channel and human and divine cosmic being in disguise, Tyler Ellison. I am joined by my lovely co-host and friend, Michelle Copeland. Yay! Hi, Michelle.
Hey, greetings and good day to you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I am excited to spend this first contactee Friday with you and for us to enjoy getting to hear Riok and what he has to say for us as we move into this March energy and optimize it to the best of our ability to co-create the world that we prefer. If you have any questions, I'd like for you to drop them in the comments below so that I can ask them to Riok and enjoy the channeled live stream on this first contactee Friday.
Excellent, excellent. Michelle, before we start, would you mind just silencing the Facebook notifications for me? That'll be helpful when I'm in the trance, so that way I don't have that as high tones. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're awesome. And I will go into the state. Enjoy everyone who's watching, past, present, and future. All right, and we thank you all so much for your attendance in this live transmission. It is our joy, our passion, our pleasure, and our excitement to be able to have the co-creative interaction with you and your civilization in this unique way. How are you doing this day of your time?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you, Riok. And how are you?
We are ecstatic, and thank you for the co-creation of the interaction together. We are going to begin tonight's transmission with a small piece of advice, you could say, a small tidbit of information to assist you in the idea of navigating the timelines that are currently intersecting with your linear space-time trajectory. Think of it like this. You are, in many ways, moving in a bubble, so to say, throughout the idea of an experience of an external reality. That external reality projection that you experience yourself to be in, to be surrounded by, is a holographic experience that actually draws upon a variety of data, a variety of different facets of information from a multitude of different realities and different timelines. At any given point in time, you may have up to, but not limited to, 250 timelines intersecting with your linear space-time trajectory, the idea of the bubble of reality you are in. Data and information from this number and more of timelines and realities is compiled, is organized by your higher self, by your belief systems to create your unique experience of Earth. The actions that you take, that you find to be inspiring, that come to you synchronistically, that come to you when you are in your heart, when you are in joy, act as portals to be able to shift your version of reality to match the vibration, to go into resonance with the idea of the more positive timelines that are currently interacting with you. During our upcoming transmission on March 13th, we are going to get much more specific about how this timeline intersection occurs, and we are going to explore with you ways that you can experience the highest timeline version of your planet that is available to you. We remind all of you, this is a capacity you contain within. This is built into you. It is your birthright as God, as goddess, to be able to create whatever version of reality it is that you prefer. And the idea is that the timelines that are intersecting with your reality offer that potential to you, which is a potential you contain. They offer it in the form of a reflection. So you can access that idea of creating heaven on earth through aligning with preferential timelines. Now, we are going to speak about what your scientists have called the coronavirus, because we understand it's a bit of a hot topic. This subject you call the coronavirus is not one event. It is not one timeline. It is not one thing. There are many variations of this scenario simultaneously playing out on many Earths right now. The idea is all of those different Earths are essentially blending their energies together, and they are beaming them into the idea of your creation of the collective consciousness. And the idea is, as you shift your vibration and as you interpret that subject of the coronavirus in a preferred way, as you take positive action based, representative of the positive meaning you have put into it, it can allow for you to engage with the more positive timelines of Earths that are associated with this phenomenon you call the coronavirus, but in a way where the coronavirus never existed in the first place. There is a timeline entangled with all of the energies that are beaming into your reality that you consider to be the idea of the coronavirus, where one of them actually is a reality where the coronavirus was never there in the first place. There are certain timelines that make up the coronavirus where it is in that sense man-made. There are other timelines where it is natural. There are some timelines where it's not a virus at all. It's actually a bacteria and a misunderstanding of the immune system. There are some realities where in that sense it's related to technologies. There are so many different versions of this event available to you. We remind you there is no objective reality. When you do your research and you investigate to find the truth, we remind you you are using your energies and your belief systems to actually manifest and create the appearance of evidence. So as you research this externally, we remind you there are different versions of it playing out, and the evidence that you find is going to reflect the idea of the belief systems that you contain within you relating to this subject. So we encourage you, apply positive definition to this scenario. Ask yourself, while you are in a state of love and joy, in a state of relaxation, what is this scenario teaching me? What are the lessons it contains? Because as we have said before, once you receive the lessons from the teacher has no reason to stick around. But you only learn the lesson not when you understand it as a concept, but when you choose to live it in all versions of the now, in all perspectives of the now, in all interactions with self and other that you have. That's how you actually learn the lesson. It's never just intellectual. If it just stays there, what ends up happening is, because you have not fully selected it, eventually you'll end up selecting belief systems consciously or unconsciously that then are belief systems you then use to take action to create your reality. So we encourage you, once you have created the positive meaning, once you have received the lessons from the scenario, take the action immediately. Don't let it just sit there, because you will likely end up forgetting about it. And the idea is you may begin to use subconscious beliefs that are not quite as positive in an unconscious way. However, you always can return to it. You always can adopt that positive perspective and then act upon it. But the sooner you act upon it, the quicker the crystallization, the more amplified the shifting. And that is a little bit about what you have called the coronavirus and some tools you can use to co-creatively shift to a timeline version of reality that you prefer. We remind you to have no expectations on what that needs to look like, what that should look like. It's a matter of your vibration and your actions being congruent, being parallel, being resonant with that preferred reality. Be the actor in that movie. And that's how you get the leading role. We thank you for your attention in our opening transmission.
Thank you so much, Riok. So I have a question for you from one of our viewers here. Natalie had asked before in a previous transmission about her guide, Yuno, who is featured in the art here that you see behind me. Is there any messages that Yuno might have for Natalie?
One moment. In general, this being and hybrid children are likely to communicate with you, and when we say you, we are referring to the one you call Natalie, are likely to deeply communicate with you whilst you are embracing, holding, in contact with trees. As you spend time connecting with trees, holding trees, breathing into trees, the idea is it will start to plug you in more deeply to the hybrid reality and the reality of your guide. The reason for this is, think of all of the branches of the trees that are facing upward as antennas or nervous system cell extensions, open to receive electrical and psychic stimuli. Understanding that trees can be programmed with your energy. So as you embrace the tree, as you hold the tree, as you breathe with the tree, and you maintain a state of being that to you represents contact with your guide, you will actually be programming the tree itself to be able to become resonant with the energetics of your guide and the hybrids. And as you begin to merge your awareness with the tree, by breathing into the tree, by feeling you are the tree, you're going to become privy, you're going to become tuned into the psychic information those beings will send to you through the idea of the receptors of the tree branches. And you will be able to download that information into your body, into the tree. You can return to the tree in meditative states without having to actually physically be there whenever you want, and that will act as a permission slip for you to be able to connect with your guides and with the hybrids. And this is a general message related to how you can further that connection from your guide.
Awesome, thank you. She also asked, what is her connection with the primary facilitator?
The primary facilitator. If you can be a little more specific, please, with the idea of how you understand this concept, because there are a few different ways we can answer it, and we want to make sure we are precise with it.
Well, the way I understand the primary facilitator is it's basically the government in our future, whereas it's a co-creation of synchronicity. So organizational principle of synchronicity itself.
All right, all right. Again, we wish to understand how she understands this concept, because you can experience it with government, you can experience it with society, you can experience it with nature, and you can also experience it as the organizing principle of your life. The idea is, in a general sense, as your heart becomes opened and the electrical field of the heart is able to expand, mechanically speaking, the heart electromagnetic energy will expand in terms of an experience of distance into the idea of the psychic, astral, spiritual realms of your aura. It will permeate past the idea of what is known as the etheric body, past the idea of the causal body, into the higher levels of your aura. Understand, it is these higher frequency zones within the aura that are completely, totally, utterly tuned into the idea of the prime facilitator energy, the energy of the ever-present synchronous force that organizes all of creation, what you call God, goddess, source, all that is, etc. The idea is that as the heart field expands and opens and it's able to permeate these layers of the aura, the heart itself will become entrained with those frequencies. So the biological system you consider your physical body will then operate and organize itself based off of synchronicity, which can lead to improved levels of physiological, emotional, mental wellness. But it can also allow for your senses to more easily perceive the idea of that synchronous organization, allowing for you to follow synchronicity like a journey, like an adventure, like a mystery. And the idea is that as you become more of yourselves, as you take action in a way that's representative of who you actually are, and you do this on a collective and individual level, altogether, your heart fields will naturally expand through the mechanism we have described. It may be different for certain people in certain realities. That's a general sense of the mechanism of the chi or the energy. And the idea is that will, along with your positive action, your honoring of your truest self, that expanded heart field will allow for you all together to tune in to the collective synchronicity, revealing with it all types of facets of information that will further teach you how deeply connected all of you are with one another.
Thank you, Riok. Looks like we have time for one more question here, and I'm going to ask this from Jill. And Jill says, what is the best way to structure water? And she says, with our aura, with crystals, with vortexing.
The best way to structure the water is going to be the way that is most exciting and most inspirational for you. Understand, it's not so much what you do to the water, but it's more so the level of frequency within yourself as you are engaging in that action. So if you find you are very excited to work with water in one way, but instead decide to take action using a technique based on someone else's perspective that may not be as exciting, may not be inspirational to you, the idea is that the effects experienced from going with a frequency that is lesser in vibration than your highest joy, the idea is it will actually not be as powerful for you because it is you that derives the effect. So when you take an action based off of your joy, your passion, your preference, your excitement, you receive the highest level of effect as possible from that permission slip. So first and foremost, go with your heart, go with what is inspirational to you. We will provide general tips for you. Ionic minerals, sea salts, these types of elements dissolved in the water will increase the electrical conductivity of the water. As these particulate are dissolved into the water can then be exposed to sunlight and then mechanically using a wooden spoon or something of that like, bamboo is fine, plant-based we would consider to be a little more preferred. As you then spiral the water using that utensil in sunlight, that sunlight will then become resonant and infused into the auric field of all of the dissolved solids. The solids in that way will act as mineral storage sites for the photonic energy. And the aura of those elements will then beam that photonic energy into the overall field of consciousness that is the water. The water can be immediately drank after that. It also can be left in a space covered that is surrounded or abundant in crystalline substances such as minerals, quartz, amethyst, rose quartz, citrine, etc. And the idea is you can leave that water in a crystalline cocoon, so to say, by placing crystals around the water. And this will allow for the crystals to also ground and stabilize that energy and also channel in their own frequencies and greater earth frequencies into that water. So as you then consume it, it will be a mixture of psychic mineral energy, physical mineral energy, sunlight, and the idea of pranic life force that you are actually infusing into it through virtue of simply engaging with the water in that ceremonial way in the first place. That is your aura, that is your chi actually interfacing with the water. Doing all of these techniques is, again, you using your energy. Simply employing the reflective permission slip of the technique or modality to assist you in doing so. Now, again, what we have shared is just a general. formula. Be the creator that you are. Experiment with it. Play around with it. There are many ways to infuse the water, including exposing it to sound frequencies. There are many ways you can explore and play with the water element of your body as well as your planet.
Thank you so much, Riok.
Okay, and thank you so much for your existence and your questions.
So we're at our time now, Riok. So
All right. We thank you so much for the co-creation of this interaction. It is our highest joy, highest passion and preference to be able to have these dialogues with your world. Our unconditional love to you always, and to all beings whom you encounter in your journey of physical reality.
that was awesome, Tyler and Riok. Thank you, everybody that participated and watched our live stream.
Yeah.
One of the permission slips that I use is Dr. Emoto has a book on water where he published The Power of Words and Intentions with Water. And so I like to write the words I love you and thank you on my jars of water. And I also charge them in the sun as well. So that's something you can also do. And you can also do that with a bath. When you take a bath and you use the Epsom salts or essential oils, you can actually put crystals in the water as a permission slip and just choose that it's charged up, that you bless this water, and just, giving thanks that this water is vibrating in love and joy and wellness for my being. And then you're immersing yourself in that, and so you can come away with those intentions into your physical body and upgrade yourself. It's all about intention. You're the one giving it meaning. And now more than ever on the planet, it's important as a group collective that we do not buy into fear-based scenarios, to remember that you are a powerful creator connected to source energy God. And the more we can see from that place of wholeness and utilize our currency, our life stream for the intention that's been given, which is to be the ones that extend the good, the holy, and the beautiful, then by doing that, by being the presence of love, we literally transform the world in which we engage and play and co-create in to live in heaven on earth. Mm-hmm. We are the examples. So I love you. And with that being said, I'm excited about Open Contact and our group that we have growing, our bubble, our rainbow tribe here. If you haven't already checked out the First Contactee training program, I invite you to go to the nourishyoursoul.tv page and check that out. And you can listen to the announcement from Riok. He does a much better job than I do of expressing it. If you're interested in channeling or want to develop your psychic abilities and expand your telepathic abilities, then the First Contactee training is for you. And we have the upcoming March the 13th that Riok mentioned. We're still accepting enrollments for that. It's a wonderful opportunity to speak directly with Riok. We do a drawing and 6 names are drawn and they get to actually speak with Riok. So thank you so much. And I love you, brother Tyler, and everybody here.
Love you too, Michelle. Thank you, family, for tuning in. Our love to you always. And stay in touch and keep dreaming.
Absolutely. Namaste, everyone. God bless.
Yeah, namaste in paradise.
Right.